Okay, so let's make sure that the camera's working. Anytime you're ready. Why is it doing that? I don't know why it's doing that. It's acting all weird. Weird. Let's see if I know the camera's working though, so but it's why is the whatever. It just looks weird on the phone. It's got the screen like the actual video screen in the middle of the phone screen instead of up here where it's supposed to be. I don't know. It's just being strange. And it's bothering me. It probably shouldn't be bothering me as much as it is, but sometimes I get laser focused on something and I just want to there. I got it looking right now. Okay, so today I've got to open up for you Leech from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse Princess of Power. And that makes it look all weird in the title because it says Leech, Princess of Power, as if it's saying that Leech is the Princess of Power. But no, that's referring to She-Ra. Hey, there she is over there. There's Adora with her Stun Ray and Grizzlor. And then we got, what's her name? Scorpina. I forget what her name is. Scorpia. Something like that. Girl Clawful. And there's Leech over here with his crossbow. Nice portrait of a not very handsome fellow, you know. But yeah, this is obviously supposed to represent the scene where He-Man fights the Horde in the Secret of the Sword movie. Leech, evil master of power suction. All right, you guys go ahead, get your jokes out of the way. Where's Lone Dragon? He's missing this episode. If Lone Dragon was here, he'd be making some comments about power suction. But he's missing out. He always misses out on the episodes where like where he would have the most fun, I think. It's unfortunate. But here we got some cross-salt artwork on the back here. And I've opened Thunder Punch He-Man. Then we got Emperor Hordak and Cyclone that I don't have. So I never opened those up. I could have gotten either one of those, but they weren't available anymore by the time that these went on clearance. And I got this guy on clearance. He's one of the, from the mass culling that Walmart did of the Masterverse line, where I was getting these for like $15 or even $10 a piece in some cases. So I was able to get a lot of the ones I'd been sleeping on for a while. Like I didn't have Fisto yet. I didn't have Flying Fists He-Man yet. And I didn't have this guy yet. And King Keldor was the other one. So we'll probably be opening King Keldor up next week. But yeah, here's what the bio says. A product of evil horde science, Leech terrorizes Etherians with his energy-draining hands. All right, so in one of the mini comics, they had shown how Hordak can take hapless victims and use his technology to grant them superpowers, but it usually winds up making them into monsters somehow. And most of those wind up joining the Horde. But Extendar was one that hey, it's the guy who never checks his message. That's me. I'm the guy who never checks. Sorry, I'm bad at that. I know. I'm sorry. So I was just talking about you, actually, because Leech is the evil master of power suction. And of course, I thought about you. I'm not trying to imply that you're the master of power suction, but that you would think that was funny is what I was saying. So I tell you what, I will make an effort to check my messages sometime today. I'm really sorry. I'm just, it's one of my flaws as a human being. I do have a few flaws. I mean, not many, but I mean, hey, if the worst thing about me is that I don't check my messages as often as I should, then I guess I'm doing okay. And he's got some accessories in here in the little paper bag. But I'm like, yeah, Lone Dragon is missing out because here I am talking about the evil master of power suction, and he isn't here to make any comments about it. So I guess better late than never. You can make the comments now if you like. So let's see what's in here. All right. So this is this little wristband thing. It's got like a whip attached to it. I think that's supposed to be a whip. It's very curly. It's very curled up. Looks like it's supposed to be a whip to me anyway. That's good because one of the problems I have with the vintage Horde figures is they don't tend to have a lot of unique accessories among them. And Masterverse seems to at least kind of try to fix that a little bit. But usually most of the vintage Horde figures just came with a crossbow. And I'm not really a fan of the Horde crossbow. Just in general, I don't really think it's that great of an accessory, if I'm being honest. So, you know, giving him an extra accessory that's not the Horde crossbow, that's a good thing. I like that. It's kind of strange to have a whip that clips to your wrist, but he doesn't really have, like, proper hands. So what else are you going to do with it, honestly? I think that's kind of a neat solution. Something that they obviously put a little bit of thought into. And when I first saw this guy, I thought it was kind of strange that he had like this kind of two-toned thing with him. So I was thinking back to the original Leech action figure, and that original action figure was just all kind of the darker green. And this guy has like a lighter green on him, which I thought was kind of strange. But then I remembered, oh yeah, on the She-Ra cartoon, he was colored with lighter green legs and arms. So that's probably why they did that. And hey, look, they sculpted in to the bottom of his feet. So he's got suckers on the bottom of his feet too. How about that? Now, I think like the original figure, if I remember correctly, his feet are kind of shaped like suction cups, but they aren't actually suction cups. And these aren't actually suction cups either. They're just kind of, you can see they're supposed to look like leech mouths with little teeth on them. Very gruesome. So, looks cool though. I like it. And he's got like a properly sculpted mouth. You might remember the original Leech. That was where they had that suction cup with the mouth, and they just kind of painted a mouth onto it. Because you can't really have sculpting on a mouth on a suction cup. They couldn't really do that because then it wouldn't, you know, suck, and that would suck in the other meaning of the word. Let's see here. So, but yeah, this is you know, the cartoon collection one has a head sculpted kind of like this, and the regular Origins figure has a head that's sculpted kind of like this as like the alternate head. That's the one that I currently have on mine. But like I said, he's got the lighter green arms and legs and head, and I guess his torso is supposed to be kind of like a breastplate because you can see it's actually molded in like a slightly metallic, not just darker green, but like a slightly metallic color of green. It looks really cool. And then he's got these golden shoulder plates, shoulder pads, whatever you want to call them. And they do seem to be removable if you want to take them off. It doesn't seem like it'd be that hard to get them off. I think you'd have to pull his hands off to get them off since they are kind of wide. But I'm not going to fool with that right now. And then I was thinking that this would be like a harness that was removable, but no, it's actually sculpted into the figure. This is sculpted solidly into the figure, and I think the upper part of it is like a separate piece, but it's glued on, and it's got kind of like a bony sort of sculpt to it. Looks kind of like a Hordak's collar, probably trying to give them like a unifying look as far as that goes. And then he's got the Horde symbol on his chest. with Hordak's face on there. Now, the original concept for this was it was like a little creature that Hordak would put onto these people, and it would control their minds. So he might not even really be a bad guy. He might be actually just mentally controlled by that little symbiotic creature that Hordak put on his chest. But that was a concept that I believe was dropped. I don't think that was used in any of the media. Like, I certainly don't remember it on the She-Ra cartoon, and that would have been kind of gruesome, wouldn't it? And I don't remember it from any of the mini comics either. And in fact, if he wanted to mind control somebody, he usually put them in the slime pit, as I recall. But yeah, these aren't actual suction cups like the original figure, but they've got that sort of toothy sort of texture on the inside of them. And I guess they could have painted in the teeth white, but that's a lot of teeth to paint white. That would be putting a lot of trust into your stencil for your paint applications. I really like this head sculpt, and I really like the I don't even know if it's coming across right on the screen, but I really like the way they painted his eyes. He's got like a red eye with like a black iris in it and then a little white dot in there to do the glint. They look really cool, and he looks really ferocious and nasty and exactly what you want Leech to look like. And I think I mentioned this when I opened up the Origins version. Leech is my favorite of the Horde henchmen, except maybe Catra. And Catra wasn't originally created to be a Horde member. They just kind of made her one in the cartoon, so she would be part of the bad guys team. But the original figure was not a Horde character. But yeah, so I figure Grizzlor is probably the most popular out of that first assortment of Horde characters. And I kind of feel like all the Horde characters kind of have their fans. Like, I know Pixel Dan is like a really big fan of Mosquitor, and there's people who really love Dragstore. And but I'm a Leech guy. I like Leech. I think he's really cool, and especially because like out of the original Horde figures, I kind of felt like he was the one that was supposed to be the most. I'm not supposed to be, but to me, he was the one that was the most impressive looking. And I know Grizzlor was kind of supposed to be the muscle, but yeah. Lone Dragon says I like Mantenna. Yeah, see, like I think like all of the Horde have their own fans. Like they're like every member of the Horde is somebody's favorite member of the Horde. And like I kind of figure Hordak's like the most popular, and like out of all of them, I'd probably say Hordak. But I'm talking out of like Hordak's henchmen, out of everybody below Hordak, like. But everybody's kind of got their own sort of villains that they kind of gravitate towards. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Merman, and I'm a big fan of Triclops, and I figure like say Beastman or Trapjaw would probably be like the most popular of the henchmen, and those guys are cool. I love Beastman, I love Trapjaw, but there's something about Merman that fascinates me. There's something about Triclops that's just really cool. And to me, Leech is the guy as far as the Horde goes, where like I just kind of think Leech is just the coolest. I really like Leech. And he's like in the original figures, like Grizzlor is supposed to be the muscle, but he actually has arms that are kind of skinnier than most Masters figures have. So the figure itself, I didn't think was all that impressive. The coolest thing about him was the fur, and I really think that he should have had a more impressive build, considering what he was. But Leech actually was a massive figure, so I wound up using Leech as the muscle more than I used Grizzlor. Lone Dragon says, "I love Lamp." Are you just looking at things in the room and saying you love them? Is that what you're doing? I understood that reference. So, like I said, he's got this whip as like an extra accessory. And it's got a little little picture of little portrait of Hordak sculpted into it. The whole thing, the whole clip, it's got the bat wings on there, so it is sculpted to look like the Horde emblem. And the one problem with this is, like I said, it's very curly Q, probably partially from being in the package, and it does look kind of long enough when you stretch it out, but it's not going to stretch out most of the time, and it's going to be kind of bunched up like that, unfortunately. And since it does sit kind of high up on the arm, it seems like it doesn't have a whole lot of reach. And I'm going to go ahead and just assume that the main reason for this looking as short as it is because of the way it curls up like that. And if it didn't have that element going on with it, it'd probably look a lot more impressive. It's not anywhere near as cool as the new Eternia Beastman whip. I'm gonna say that right now, which is like probably one of the best whips that I've ever seen for any action figure, especially Masters of the Universe. But they get an A for effort. They tried to give us a unique accessory, and I appreciate that. And then they make pills for that now, At my age, I should probably start looking into it. I ain't no spring chicken anymore. Anyway, there he is with the crossbow, and you can see that, again, clips to his wrist because he doesn't have hands in the sense that he can hold weapons. But that's how the original Leech figure was. The crossbow kind of clipped on there too. So, and like I said, never really was too impressed with the Horde crossbow. It just wasn't that impressive of a weapon to me. Like, they tried to do that with the Snake Men too, with the snake staff, and I've got even the Eternian guard infiltrator, whatever he was, he came with a snake staff, and it's like, if you're holding that thing in the palace, people are going to know you're a snake man. I'm just saying, because only the snake men have those. Of course, in the mini comic, he was supposed to be a regular royal guardsman that got turned into a snake man. So I guess once he got turned into, congratulations, you're now a snake man. Here's your staff, and go have fun with that. I don't know if the snake men have a pill for their staffs. I don't know if that's a thing. So, but anyway, let's go ahead and talk about this guy's articulation. So Leech can look up about that far, look down about that far, tilt his head, not very quizzically from side to side, but a little bit. He's got a really thick neck, and I think that's the thing that kind of hinders him a little bit. His head rotates all the way around. His arms rotate all the way around the shoulders. They can move up about that far, which I think is about as far as they'd be able to move up anyway, so his pauldrons aren't really getting in the way on that. He does have a bicep swivel, but it seems like it's kind of stiff on this guy, but it does rotate all the way around. But it's going to kind of bump into the shoulder pads and everything. It's not going to work to the best of its ability because of the shoulder pads. Same with the double elbow. Lone Dragon says, yeah, I try not to get caught in public with my snake staff in hand. Yeah, that's what got Pee Wee Herman in trouble. So, and that wasn't really fair because he was in like an adult movie theater. And it's like, what are you supposed to be doing in the adult movie theater? Like it's one thing if he's going to see Bambi or, Oliver and Company or whatever kids movie was out at the time. But he was in an adult movie theater. He was watching like Naughty Nurses or something like that. So, duh. Poor Pee Wee Herman. That guy got railroaded. That's all I'm saying. Paul Reubens, very talented actor. Always a fan of Pee Wee. And that guy got railroaded. That's all I'm saying. So, so the wrists rotate all the way around. And they've got I guess you'd say a horizontal hinge, even though I would probably have him with his hands up like that most of the time, about to sucker somebody. Hey, let's see if we can get him to sucker somebody's head, just like he does in the cartoon. Exactly. Lone Dragon says, Your Honor, I swear I was only reading the Bible in the adult movie theater. See, Like, what are you supposed to be doing in there? Come on. That's one of those. If I was the cops, I would just laugh at that guy when he called. I would just be like, yeah, well, you're showing naughty nurses, man. What's he supposed to be doing in there? So, yeah, it's like I'm sitting in there trying to enjoy naughty nurses, and there's some pervert in there. I don't even want to say what he's doing, but I'm trying to enjoy the movie. You know, trying to enjoy this artful cinema here. Oh, geez. So I kind of feel like the hands don't quite go in as far as I would like. So I kind of feel like I could probably get them to move in a little further, maybe. I think it's the shoulder pads that are getting in the way. I might wind up just removing these shoulder pads later. But I'm not going to do it right now because I want to have them on there for there. That works a little better. So yeah, it comes up from behind and just starts sucking. That one's for free. Anyway, so torso can move from side to side like that, which is nice. Backwards and forwards like that. And of course rotates all the way around where the rib cage meets the abs. And then it does rotate here, but it was kind of stuck. Rotates all the way around at the waist. Leech can kick up about that far. And he does have that drop down hip thing going on. So that kind of helps with the articulation, even though he's got some thick thighs. But I noticed earlier it had the drop down hips. And in fact, it was kind of stuck on his left hip. But I managed to get it loose. And then I got a thigh cut. So the thigh rotates all the way around. Okay, boot cut. I'll get to you in a minute. I promise. Got double jointed knees. That's about the range of motion you get at the knees. We got a boot cut that was trying to move prematurely, but there it goes. Got the boot cut, rotates all the way around. And then his foot points down about that far, foot points up about that far, and then the foot rotates all the way around where it meets the ankle. So that's nice. Pretty standard articulation for a Masterverse figure. I'm going to miss these guys when they're gone, but I'm looking forward to Chronicles, which if you saw my review of Scareglow, or if you have the Chronicles Scareglow yourself at this point, and if you don't, why not? Make sure you pick that up. They actually made the articulation even better on that figure, so that's got me looking forward to it. But I do love my Masterverse figures. I think that was a great line, and hopefully we'll still see some more figures. Like it seems to me like Chronicles is like not quite in the same scale as these, but almost in the same scale as these, and they might do some bigger ones as they go along. But I was talking earlier about how there were, in the last episode with Evelyn, I was talking about how there were still some more characters from the 1987 movie that I would like to see, and one of those would be Man-at-Arms. And I kind of figured like they could probably do a Man-at-Arms in Chronicles and get him to be about the right scale. Anyway, Leech turned out really cool, and I kind of regret sitting on this figure as long as I did, because he did turn out to be a really cool figure of a character that I actually like. And I don't have a classics scale version of Leech, and I like to get the Masterverse characters, especially if I don't have a classics version. But it worked out all right, because like I said, I got them for a lot cheaper than I would have initially. So I guess that's a good thing. And the weapons could have been better. Obviously, like I said, I've never really been a big fan of the Horde crossbow, and the whip kind of is a little on the short side. I do like that they gave him an extra accessory, and it was a good idea, but I think it could have been executed a little better. That's all I'm saying. So, but to me, Leech doesn't really need any weapons. He's got these suckers that can just draw the energy out of you. And like I said, they put these kind of teeth in there, which reminds me of like an actual Leech. So maybe this version of Leech actually like draws blood out of you or something like that. And I know Mosquitoer is the guy who's supposed to draw blood, but I really should get that Mosquitoer Masterverse figure because he actually looks really cool. And I didn't really put too much thought into getting that figure at first because like I was kind of like I never really had the original Mosquito when I was a kid, so I don't really have that kind of like nostalgic attachment to him. But when I was looking at more pictures of that Mosquito figure, I was, man, he's just really impressive. I would actually really like to have that figure. So I'm gonna try to get Mosquito at some point in the near future. But Lone Dragon says he wants to suck out the essence of all the He-Mens. Again, the evil master of power suction. Somebody at Mattel had to know, like sometimes I'll see people post the panel from the mini comic with He-Man and Fisto, and they in the original panel in the comic, Fisto says, "I fought them as hard as I could, but I couldn't fight them all," or something to that effect. And they alter the caption, they alter the word balloon, so he says, "I fisted as hard as I could, but I could not fist them all." And it says, it's a funny alteration, I think. But I'll see some people on there being like getting really offended because they took something innocent and made it into something dirty. And I'm like, there was a lot of that kind of humor in Masters of the Universe that kind of went over the kids' heads. And somebody surely thought Fisto. Somebody must have thought that. I mean, it works for like a character with a big fist, but there's a reason that Fisto has a certain following. That's all I'm saying. He's but even then, like I could kind of see Fisto being kind of like a naive sort of thing where they didn't really put any thought into anything unwholesome when they created Fisto. And I could see Leech being a character that they just thought it would be cool to have a character who's like a mutant leech creature kind of thing. But evil master of power suction, phrasing. That's all I'm saying. Goes to the same nightclubs as Fisto and Ram Man. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Say no more. Yeah, see, like that's what I'm saying, Lone Dragon. It's there was certainly some stuff in there that was supposed to go over the kids' heads. Like I remember that Filmation just flat out just absolutely refused to have Stinkor in the cartoon because they were looking at it as being like, this is just a fart joke. Like, that's all this is. And I never really thought of Stinkor as being a fart joke. I just thought that Stinkor was just supposed to stink. That his name was Stinkor because he stunk. He himself stunk because he was a skunk person. Not that he was farting all the time. Which now I kind of identify with Stinkor a lot more since he farts all the time. Something we got to deal with in life sometimes. So, but yeah, that's why Stinkor was never on the cartoon, because Lou Scheimer just thought it was disgusting because it was a fart joke. So, oh well, whatever. But anyway, yeah. I mean, I guess skunks fart, but that's not why they stink, says Lone Dragon. Yeah, see? I mean, like every animal farts, right? Because you're going to get gas from time to time. It's just natural. The most beautiful women in the world fart. Like you might like your Elizabeth Olsens or your Sabrina Carpenters or your what have you, whatever. Hey, Max Games and Toys in here, says the mighty Alan. Rock on. So always good to see you. We're right at the end though, unfortunately. But hey, I know you like the Masters of the Universe stuff, and I've got a whole lot more coming up. Next week, I think, is when I'm going to go ahead and open up King Keldor and the new Eternia Keldor and Despara from the Masterverse line. So we're going to have a lot of cool stuff coming up. And plus, I know you're a big fan of the 2000X, and I've got a lot of the 2000X cartoon collection coming up. I think almost all of them that are out at this point. I think the only one I'm missing is Ram Man. So more power is coming indeed. So, but yeah, where was I? I was saying something. Did I get the new King Grayskull? No, not yet. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to order them yet. I was thinking that movie Beast Man was coming out soon, and I was thinking I might try to wait if those are still available. And usually, Mattel Creations is really good about having stuff in stock on their website. So I was thinking about trying to wait at least until that movie Beast Man came out, so I could get them both at the same time. But and plus, I'd gotten a lot of stuff from them recently. Like I got the Laser Power He-Man, and I got I'd ordered just a couple of figures for like some custom fodder. I got like an extra Sharella, and I got an extra Voltac, and I'll have a video up about the custom that I'm making out of Voltac because he's pretty much done. So I'll have a short about that up soon. But yeah, like so I'm trying to wait on that one. Hopefully I don't miss out on it. Hopefully I haven't already missed out on it, because I'm kind of afraid to look at the website and see if it's Lone Dragon says birds and most fish and invertebrates do not fart. Well, birds have like a different sort of gastrointestinal waste disposal system than humans have. They don't really pee. From what I understand, is that like they get rid of all their liquid waste through their defecation process, and that's why bird poop is so liquidy. So that's a fun fact you didn't expect from some guy sitting on his couch opening up action figures. So yeah, I guess maybe that would make sense that they don't fart. And fish are like underwater, so you know, I don't guess they have like any gas. I don't guess. So, but yeah. So and well, all mammals fart. I'll put it that way. Maybe animals was a little too broad, but you know, like dogs fart, cats fart. I guess so. I would have to assume that all animals fart. You know, why wouldn't they? Lions fart. You know, squirrels fart. It just makes sense. So maybe rabbits don't fart. I don't know. Their pellets are weird because they look like little raisins. They don't look like you know, like normal turds, I guess. It says birds poop so frequently, there's no time for gas to build up. Yeah, anybody who owns a car can tell you birds poop far too frequently. Birds poop way too frequently, because like if a bird poops on my car once, I think that bird poops too much. Or you know, statues, they could always tell you. I'm pretty sure they just aim for the statues. They probably think there's some dumb human who isn't even moving at all. I'm just gonna poop on him. Anyway, Leech is a really cool figure. I'm glad I picked him up. I'll be back next episode with I think I'm gonna go ahead and open up King Keldor for my next episode, and then we'll have the new Eternia Keldor after that, and then Despara. So we'll have 3 figures that kind of have something in common, because one character is a good guy who goes bad, and the other character is a bad guy who goes good. And which one is which? We'll talk more about that. And you know, I don't really blame Despara for being bad. She was raised that way. It's not like she's inherently bad, and in fact, she becomes a good guy when she becomes She-Ra, so that's cool. And then we have Keldor, who I think started off, in my mind, Keldor started off with the noblest of intentions and slowly becomes more evil and corrupt as he goes along until finally he's just melded with a demon and becomes the Lord of Destruction, the most evil villain of all. Well, except for maybe Darkseid. Jack Kirby says Darkseid is the most evil villain of all. And I'm sure he's the most evil villain of at least Jack Kirby's creations. But it seems to me like Skeletor and Darkseid have similar motivations. So they might be on a par with each other. Lone Dragon says anything can fart in a Michael Bay movie, even robots. Yeah, that's certainly true. And robots can pee too. They peed all over John Turturro, who kept appearing in those movies for whatever reason. You would think that would be enough for him, but I guess he's got a little bit of a sense of humor. Great actor. Apparently does not take himself too seriously, so that's good. I like John Turturro. I've always liked John Turturro. I talk about that Robert Pattinson Batman movie, and I say that there's only like 3 things I like about it, but I guess there's 4 because I did like John Turturro in that. I did think he was good. So I didn't think they did a very good job with that character, which is probably why I didn't. In terms of the writing, I think that he could have been better written. Which is probably why I don't really think him, but his acting was good. And Colin Farrell's acting was good, even though I don't really recognize that character as the Penguin. But I thought he was great in the movie, and he's something that, like, at least when Colin Farrell is on the screen, something entertaining is actually happening in that movie, and it holds my interest. So even if I think that's a lousy version of the Penguin, I think he's doing a great job with the acting. Lone Dragon says, jellyfish do not fart due to lack of anus. Well, do they poop at all? Like that's what I'm wondering now. Like how do they have any kind of waste processing system, or how does that work? Man, we're just getting all into the nature stuff. Have I seen Severance? Turturro isn't that? No, I haven't. Is that a movie or a show? I think I've heard of it. But yeah, like he's always really good. There's a reason the Coen brothers keep using John Turturro. Yeah, so Severance, the TV show. Yeah, I was pretty sure I'd heard of that. Adam Scott's in it. I like Adam Scott. I'm a big fan of that guy. I've always been a big fan of Adam Scott. Like ever since Boy Meets World. I think that was the first thing I saw him on. But my favorite Adam Scott performance was Parks and Recreation. I really liked his character on that. And usually Adam Scott plays a character, Christopher Walken. Yeah, I'll check it out. I will definitely check it out. Waste goes out the same hole food came in. Oh, that's disgusting. What a horrible existence. And Christopher Walken's in it. And I love Christopher Walken. I'm a big fan of that guy. So yeah, I'll definitely check that out. So I'll have to see. Where is it? It's on. It says it's on Amazon. But I don't know. It says subscribe. So it says on Apple TV. I don't have Apple TV. So I'll see if I can figure out a way to watch it. So if it's not on a streaming service that I already have, or I can't buy it for cheap, I'll have to resort to other methods. Arr! But I'll check it out. Zach Cherry is in it, and he's great and everything. Yeah, was that? Yeah, I know that guy. I've seen him and stuff. Because I saw the picture of him when I was looking it up here, and I'm like, I know that guy. He's funny. I like him. So Severance follows the employees of Lumen Industries who undergo a surgical procedure that splits their memories into work and personal selves, creating 2 distinct identities. That sounds like something I would like. So I wasn't sure what it was about. It looked like it was more of a drama. But I would hope there's some funny parts to it, since, like I said, Adam Scott is usually pretty funny. I mean, he can do serious acting, obviously. Anybody who can do comedy acting and is a good comedic actor can do good drama. Comedy is actually, in my opinion, I've said this many times, Comedy, I believe, is the most difficult type of acting. So if you can do comedy, you can do any kind of act. And you see, like we're talking about, John Turturro and Christopher Walken are gay for each other. Says, yeah. See, that would be. I would be interested in seeing that. As a straight man who's a fan of both of those actors, I would like to see them play characters who are gay for each other. Zach Sherry is the funniest part. That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me at all. but yeah, but yeah, I'm very much, and it's unfair because usually when somebody's a great comedic actor, they get kind of pigeonholed into just doing comedy. But anybody who's like Adam Sandler is a guy who's done great dramatic performances. You can watch him in something like Punch Drunk Love or Uncut Gems, and he does a great job. And honestly, a lot of the times with the comedy movies, I kind of feel he's done some great comedies too. That's obviously where he made his bones. But a lot of the times Adam Sandler kind of phones it in on the comedies. But if he's playing a dramatic character, never once have I seen him phone it in. He always, if he's doing a drama, he's always there 100%. And like Mike Myers, that's a guy who can do drama, best known for comedy, but he can do drama. I've seen him do drama. He's good at it. Silo from Foundation. Yeah. Or Silo from, I'm sorry, the comma there. Yeah. From was one that a friend of mine, my friend Rudy, had recommended me that one. So it might be worth just seeing if I can sub to Apple for like a month or so and binge some of this stuff. So yeah, I will definitely check out Severance. I will definitely check that one out. I'll tell you that right now. So might be a good show. Yeah, I'll check it out before I try to watch it with like my mom or something. I don't know if that would be a show to watch. I don't know anything about it. Foundation is based on the Isaac Asimov books. Well, there you go. I mean, so the Asimov is one that's tricky to adapt, though. And it's like, I think I've mentioned before, I'm a fan of the movie Bicentennial Man. But that's got Robin Williams in it, and I'm just a big fan of Robin Williams anyway. And like I know like iRobot was one that like people were really critical about that one as far as being an adaptation of Asimov, but it was a fun popcorn movie at least. I had a friend who was like a really big fan of Asimov. At the time, I had a friend. I kind of fell out of touch with him. He was a good dude though. But I had a friend who was a really big fan of Isaac Asimov, and he was kind of like, he was very critical of the movie iRobot as far as it being an Asimov adaptation, but he thought it was he thought it was an entertaining popcorn movie, so he wasn't being too harsh on it. And he was even talking about how like iRobot is like a difficult movie to adapt, and that he wouldn't have a problem with that movie at all if it wasn't called iRobot. If it was called like Will Smith versus the Murdertron Machines, that was what he said, it would have been much better. Silo is also Lone Dragon says Silo is also based on books, or the whole story is written before they started the show. So I'll look into it. I will look into those other shows. Like I said, I'd already been recommended From, but I will definitely watch Severance. I will definitely check that one out. One way or the other, I'll wind up watching it. So anyway, I think that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure that you like and subscribe and all the fun YouTube stuff down below. Leave a comment and let me know what you think about Leech. And if you made it this far into the video, and I don't blame you if you didn't, because we got sidetracked and talking a whole bunch of different stuff that had nothing to do with this figure. Leave a comment and let me know who your favorite member of the Evil Horde is. Lone Dragon says, I mean, it's like the movie World War Z pretty much just took the title and vague concept of the book. Yeah, that was another one I was disappointed in because I kind of felt like you could have made like a really cool movie out of World War Z, but they just didn't. They just just did again, like they probably pretty much says, oh, World War Z, that's a great title, and that's all they were interested in. It's like if you saw that movie, The Founder, which I love that movie, by the way. You know, I'm a big fan of Michael Keaton, obviously, because he's Batman. I mean, like, not because he's Batman, but because he's Batman, you should know I'm a big fan of Michael Keaton. I'm a big fan of Michael Keaton because of Mr. Mom. I go back that far. but I love The Founder. It's got Michael Keaton in it. It's got a bunch of other great actors in it. Like Ron Swanson's in it. I love Ron Swanson. But yeah, the part at the end, spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen The Founder, where Michael Keaton is talking about, they ask him, Lone Dragon says, I ruined another video by sidetracking the host. Well, you know, that's not a difficult feat with me. I'm not complaining. It's like we're past talking about the figure anyway at this point. So this is kind of the part of the video where we bullshit. It's fine. So don't think I'm complaining. You keep sidetracking me. That's fine. If you sidetrack me all you want, that's cool. At least once we're done talking about the figure, then we can just talk about whatever. But yeah, there's the part where Ray Kroc, Michael Keaton as Ray Kroc, is, you know, the McDonald's brothers ask him, why did you even bother with trying to make a deal with us in the first place? Why didn't you just steal the concept? And he says, there's something about the name, McDonald's. It was just the perfect name, and I couldn't call it Crocs. Nobody would want to go to a restaurant called Crocs. It's too Slavic sounding. But McDonald's, it's just perfectly American, which, you know, I mean, like Scottish or Irish or whatever. But, you know, still, you know, it's still like, you know, kind of like McDonald's. It's a nice, pleasant name. Crocs, you know. But so I kind of feel like that was it with World War Z. We could have called this zombie movie anything, but that's just such a great title. We got to use it. We'll buy the rights to it and whatever with the rest of the book. And the book's kind of an interesting format because it's like the book itself is kind of like a documentary. And it's written as if it's a nonfiction book that's like a collection of people's reminiscences about the World War Z, the Nazi world. Sorry, that's just the regular World War, the zombie apocalypse kind of thing. And you could make a movie out of that, but it wouldn't really be like a standard sort of movie. But still, I think you could probably make a better movie out of that book than you could than what they did. And, you know, they could have called that Zompocalypse or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, it wasn't much like the book at all. And then Lone Dragon says the book would make a good show if done right. Yeah, see, like what would be a really interesting way to do that movie is to do it like a mock documentary. Like imagine if there actually was a zombie apocalypse and years after the fact, humans are kind of processing it. And like, you know, somebody like Ken Burns made like a Civil War type documentary out of the baseball or the Revolutionary War one. Somebody can make a documentary like that out about this zombie apocalypse. I kind of had the idea that like I'm a big fan of the book, The World According to Garp by John Irving. Excellent book. And if you haven't read that one, great book. And the movie's okay. The movie's fine. And again, that's another one. Like, I'm a fan of the movie because I'm a fan of Robin Williams, and Robin Williams is fantastic in it. But it doesn't. It's an okay adaptation of the book. Like, it hits most of the major beats, but I kind of feel like it kind of missed the mark in some ways, and it could have gone a lot deeper. And when I was thinking about doing, if I was to do a remake of The World According to Garp, if I was to make my own movie of The World According to Garp, I would make it as a documentary about this guy's life. Because again, reading the book, it almost feels like it's a nonfiction book about T.S. Garp, as if he was a real person. And I was kind of thinking like it would be an interesting thing to do it as like a documentary. And part of my problem with if you did a remake of Garp, you would have to recast Robin Williams. And how do you replace Robin Williams? Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of great actors in there. You got Glenn Close, you got John Lithgow. The whole cast is really good in that movie. But I could kind of more easily cast any of those characters in my mind than to replace Robin Williams. So kind of my idea was since spoiler warning for the world according to Garp, spoiler warning for a book that's probably almost 50 years old at this point, and if not over 50 years old, and a movie that's got to be like over 40 years old. Garp dies at the end, he gets killed, and so if you did it as a documentary, you could have interviews with all the characters, telling the story. And Garp could be just like a guy that you just see in photographs and never actually hear his voice. There's no film footage of him that exists. He's just the guy that you see photographs of. There's no audio tape of him, so you never hear his voice. And that way you don't even have to worry about recasting Robin Williams. You just kind of have like some guy in pictures. And it doesn't even have to be like a famous actor or anything like that. It can just be like you find a guy that looks right. Lone Dragon says, my favorite Robin Williams movies are The Final Cut and Death to Smoochie. I love Death to Smoochie, man. Like that's Death to Smoochie, I think is like a super underrated movie. And I almost missed out on that because it wasn't out in the theaters for very long. And I know it didn't get good reviews either. And but I remember seeing the trailer and thinking it looked interesting, but I just didn't get a chance to see it in the theater because it was there and gone like that. And it was actually my sister Valerie who had seen it, and she loved that movie. And she's like, "You've got to see Death to Smoochie. I will lend you the DVD right now." And she was right. I did love that movie, and like anything with even like a crappy movie with Robin Williams in it is worth watching because he's such a great actor. And he's another one where it's like you think of Robin Williams, you tend to think of comedy, but he could do drama like nobody's. He's a great dramatic actor as well. He could do Shakespeare, all that kind of stuff. And it's a rocket ship. Rocket Red, countdown, lift off. Yeah. Yeah, Edward Norton, he's great in that movie too. And like he's playing such an innocent character. And I usually think of Edward Norton from like darker stuff. Like Fight Club is the main movie I think of Edward Norton from. And of course he was Bruce Banner, and he was Primal Fear was the thing that was like his first big role, I think. I remember him, the first movie I ever saw Edward Norton in, the first movie I remember seeing Edward Norton in anyway was The People versus Larry Flint, where he plays Larry Flint's lawyer. And I like him in that because his performance, I felt like, was very naturalistic. And I felt like I was just watching a character exist rather than watching somebody act. And I was really impressed by that. But yeah, like Robin Williams is like... I've been a huge fan of Robin Williams since like I was a small child. And at the time that I first saw Robin Williams, he was on Mork and Mindy, which was sitcom that he did where he played an alien. For anybody out there in the audience who wasn't around from Mork and Mindy, that was the thing that was like his breakout. He was on an episode of Happy Days where he played an alien called Mork. And like they realized like it wasn't even something where like the character was popular when he appeared on the show. They realized when they were making the episode, this character is something special. We should just make a show about him. So Mork got a spinoff from the one episode of Happy Days he was in. And that was the thing that made Robin Williams. And I was a kid and very small child. and absolutely loved Mork and Mindy. I just thought that was just like the greatest show, and Robin Williams was like the funniest thing I'd ever seen. Now, granted, I was 3 years old, so I hadn't seen a whole lot. but Robin Williams set a very high bar for what I think is funny. I'll put it that way. And of course, then the next project I remember him in was Popeye, which I was already a big fan of Popeye from the cartoons. So Mork is going to play Popeye. This is going to be awesome. So I love that movie. That's probably my favorite Robin Williams movie for nostalgic purposes, if nothing else. But I don't think it's his best movie by a long shot, but it is my favorite Robin Williams movie. Even if it's more of a sentimental favorite than anything else. I think like Good Morning Vietnam was one that I really enjoyed. And that he's large, says Lone Dragon. Yeah, I remember talking with somebody about that. She said, I don't like that movie because Shelley Duvall can't sing. And I'm like, no, Shelley Duvall can sing, but she's playing Olive Oil, and Olive Oil can't sing. She's doing exactly what she's supposed to be doing. Go and watch those old Popeye cartoons anytime Olive Oil tries to sing, and like Shelley Duvall nailed it. She's got that Mae Questel voice like down. And Mae Questel's another one where like Mae Questel actually could sing. You just gotta see her do Betty Boop to know she could sing. But Olive Oil couldn't sing. But yeah, like Robin Williams could just do it all, and he brilliant comedic performer, obviously, and best known for his comedy, and probably makes sense that he's best known for his comedy because he's brilliant stand-up. I remember after 9/11, when Robin Williams had I think it was at Carnegie Hall, that show. And like that was something that like I was just kind of ready for at that point. I needed a good laugh by that. I'll still go. You can find it on YouTube, so go and watch that one. And my favorite part of that special is when Robin Williams is talking about golf and how only a Scotsman could invent golf, and like he's like, see, I hit the ball with a stick. Oh, like a straight stick? No, like a little fucked up stick. I can't tell it as funny as he tells it, but that's like, oh, and you do this one time. No, 18 times. but yeah, like Robin Williams was just the greatest. And Death to Smoochie, that's a good. And Good Morning Vietnam, that was what I was about to say about Good Morning Vietnam, is that's one where he gets to be funny and does a lot of funny stuff, does a lot of the typical Robin Williams, just goes nuts and just let him loose. But at the same time, there's some moments of like genuine drama and pathos where Adrian Cronauer, is going through some shit and he's got to really act. And Death to Smoochie is another one like that, where you get some of the funny Robin Williams stuff and you get some of the dramatic Robin Williams stuff. And that's, I think, kind of like the best kind of part for Robin Williams. Like Hook was another one like that, where I kind of felt like he got some good dramatic stuff in there and he got to be funny. And to me, that's like ideal for Robin Williams. You could do a movie where he's doing a straight drama and he's not funny at all. Like 1 Hour Photo, I don't think there's any like comedy stuff in there. Not like comedy, like Robin Williams type comedy. But he's doing like a serious dramatic performance in there, and he's playing like a villainous character, and he's so good. That's a great movie. 1 Hour Photo, check that one out if you haven't seen it. But yeah, that's a lifelong fan of Robin Williams. I miss that guy every day. I wish he was still doing stuff. Like towards the end, he did a lot of movies that weren't that great, if we're being honest about it. And it's like, I'm just like, man, I want to see Robin Williams do something really good again. It's been so long since he's done something really great. And but I would have him back just doing mid bullshit. if I could just have him back. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense? Even mid Robin Williams is worse than no Robin Williams. And when I say mid, I mean like the projects, the movies he was doing. He himself was always good. Robin Williams never phoned in a performance that I can remember, at least. And that's to me, that's the hallmark of a truly great actor, is a really great actor always gives it 110%. I've never seen a bad performance from Robin Williams. I've never seen a bad performance from Peter Cushing. I've never seen a bad performance from Vincent Price. I've never seen a bad performance from Denzel Washington. I've seen all of those guys in like some of the crappiest movies ever made. And they were all giving it 110% every single time. So hats off to the truly great actors. That's all I got to say about that. Anyway, I've been babbling on a while. How long has this been going on? Oh yeah, we've been talking for almost an hour, and I got to try to take a little bit of a nap before I got to go to work. But anyway, if you hung around for this long, thanks for watching. I do appreciate all of my viewers. Lone Dragon says, thank you, Cocaine, for giving us Robin Williams. Yeah. Robin Williams and Stephen King. All right, that's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. We will talk to you next time. Bye.